like, and subscribe. And let's get straight to it. I heard this story. It's a true story about this Caucasian woman did not want a black doctor to operate on her. And this guy was good, but she wanted a lesser doctor to operate on her just because of the color of her skin. Well, she got what she wanted. And I'm going to leave it at that. Shedeur Sanders is not a fifth-round draft pick. He is not a fifth-round draft pick. Why? He led college football with a 74% pass completion rating. Nobody else has done that in the history of college football. And he did this without a line and without a running game, two of the main requirements you need to be a successful quarterback in high school, college, or the pros. Anybody who knows football knows you got to have a line and you got to have a running back to take the pressure off of the quarterback. And now you have Cleveland lucked up on a guy with a 74% completion rating without a line and without a running game. This alone should have given him the Heisman. This alone should have given him the Heisman, or make him a really, really tough runner-up for the Heisman. And if he were Caucasian, he would have got the Heisman. If he were Caucasian, they would have gave him the Heisman. They would have said 74% completion rate, no offensive line, no running game. If he were Caucasian, he'd have been the first pick. And there would be no question as to who's going to be the starter. You see, I noticed something about races. It don't matter how many receipts you bring, how much evidence you have, they're going to persist in this negative narrative. They don't care if the Browns go 3-14. They don't care. In Hooterville, they don't care. In grade B towns like Hooterville, they don't care if the teams go 3-14. The powers to be don't care. All they want to do is knock a black man down, put him in his place. Hey, Manning went where he wanted to go. So did John Elway. Let a black man say, I want my son to go here and there, all of a sudden it's a problem. All of a sudden, Shedeur, never mind that he's completing 74% of his passes in OTAs, but we're talking about what he needs to work on. If you're completing 74% of your passes in OTAs, it's obvious that you don't need to work on nothing. Who else is doing this? Certainly not Dylan Gabriel. But this is who the Browns want to be the quarterback. Now, why do they want him to be a quarterback? There can only be one reason why they want him to be a quarterback. Their quarterback. It definitely is not the stats. It is not the stats. They don't want Dylan Gabriel to be quarterback because of because of stats. They want him to be quarterback because he's a Caucasian. That's the only reason why anyone would want Dylan Gabriel to be quarterback over Shedeur Sanders. I mean, the ridiculousness, the ridiculousness of it is ridiculous. How tall is he? He can't see over the defense. He gets balls batted down, and he's throwing interceptions. And Shedeur Sanders, I like 41 out of 52, and he leads the team in touchdowns, and he leads them with a lesser group of people. If you are throwing to the top receivers in the game on the team, the best players on the team, you should have more touchdowns. But see, Shedeur is so accurate, it's an easy ball to catch. He reads defenses. He knows how to move the defensive players out of place. He makes his throws before the receivers make the cuts. We've seen this. But my main thing I want to say is this. Look what the Cavs did with Hootersville. Look what Hootersville did with arguably the greatest basketball player of all time, LeBron James, leading scorer. Nobody has LeBron's stats. Came out of college hot and could not put a team around it. And they had all these years to put a team around it. Hootersville had all these years to put a team around it and couldn't do it. And then ends up with one championship. After all, and had him in his prime. Had LeBron in his prime and got one championship. Now you got Shedeur. Hot. Built for this. Built for this. And I heard people already said, if you want to judge a quarterback, you judge him off his last season. Shedeur doesn't throw interceptions. And the only interception that was thrown in the OTAs was off a tip ball. Dylan has thrown interceptions right in the breadbasket. And you have to ask yourself, who was he throwing to? He's not tall enough. And if you're short, you got to be fast and able to move around. No. Then they like to say that he's some type of weird name for a quarterback. You know what? I bought this jersey because I know how good the boy is. I know how good he is. And if the Browns fool around and let him go, I'm keeping this jersey, but I'm gonna keep this jersey, but I'm cutting this I'm cutting off. But I'm gonna keep the jersey. And then when he goes to another team and lights him up, then I'm gonna get a jersey for that team. And I'm gonna tell you this. I'm here in Cleveland. I stopped watching the Browns 10, 15 years ago. I stopped watching them. At one time I would watch I'm gonna watch 3 games. And if they're 2-1, I'll keep watching. But you always know what the Browns gonna do. We all know what the Browns gonna do. And they're doing it again, and then have the audacity to want a new stadium for what? One of the fewest teams never been to the Super Bowl. The Browns never been to the Super Bowl. They've been, the Browns been, I know they won a championship in 1964. And now it's 2020, 1964, 2025. Haven't even touched a Super Bowl game. And they're not going to win a Super Bowl with Dylan. Not winning anything with Dylan. I was so happy when they got Baker Mayfield. I didn't know what to do. And then they messed him up. Deshaun Watson, 3 straight Super Bowls, and then come to Bad Luck City, Hootersville. No, to change the name to Cleveland to Hootersville. It's a grade B city. One of the only cities where, you ever heard of a lake catching on fire? That's Cleveland. And now they're getting ready to catch the team on fire again if they get rid of Shedeur. They're going to catch the team on fire again. I can tell you this, he's going to get snatched up. He's going to get snatched up. Ain't no doubt. He's going to get snatched up the same way Baker got snatched up. The man has people watching the Cleveland Browns that didn't even, nobody, Cleveland Browns was so low on the, I shouldn't even call Cleveland Browns a grade B movie, a grade C movie, because nobody paid any attention to Cleveland. Nobody. Now all of a sudden Cleveland is in the national spotlight, and then the owner says, I want a new stadium, but I didn't really want Shedeur. He wouldn't have came here if it had been up to me. Well, a lot of things is up to you, Mr. Haslam. And the Browns have not went to a Super Bowl. And it's been a lot of things up to you. So if you don't see, anybody that starts Dylan Gabriel over Shedeur Sanders has a problem. You let go of a guy that has sold $250 million worth of jerseys that say Cleveland Browns. This has never happened before, and you want to let this go. Well, I guess if you're a billionaire, then you really don't care about money anymore. You just care about, I don't know what you care about. Like, subscribe, and if this team lets Shedeur Sanders get away, the Browns do not deserve a new stadium. And this will be the second one. The Browns don't deserve a new stadium. Go to a Super Bowl and prove you even belong in the National Football League. Can the Browns beat Ohio State? That would be an interesting game. Like, subscribe, talk to you later.